Across Africa, you have governments writing up these detailed, ambitious policies to fight youth unemployment. So, why are millions of young people still out of work? It's one of the continent's biggest and most important paradoxes. Okay, let's get into it. So, what's with this number? 34.9%. That was the youth unemployment rate in Nigeria back in 2020. Now, that's a shocking figure on its own, but it's way more than just a statistic from one country. It's a symptom of a much, much wider problem. A huge red flag that even with the best plans on paper, something is going seriously wrong on the ground.
All right, so just how big of a deal is this? Well, it's massive. And it's not just about finding jobs, It's about shaping the future of the entire continent, which, by the way, has the youngest population in the world. And when we even talk about who counts as youth, the definition itself tells you just how many people we're talking about.
The African Union considers youth to be anyone between 15 and 35. Just think about that for a second. That's a 20-year span that covers this massive, educated, and seriously energetic part of the population. This isn't just a group of job seekers. It's what economists call a potential demographic dividend. And this quote from Ghana's policy says it all. This is exactly what's at stake. Governments know their young people are a strategic asset. If they can tap into this potential, the growth could be absolutely incredible. But if they fail, well, it's not just about high unemployment numbers. It means wasting the single greatest opportunity for progress the continent has.
So, how have governments been responding to this? Not with silence, that's for sure. They've been creating these incredibly detailed plans. We're talking comprehensive, multi-year national policies designed to tackle the crisis head-on. And honestly, on paper, they look pretty perfect. I mean, just look at this. 3 of Africa's major economies, Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya, all finalized these huge youth policies just within the last few years. This shows there's real political will, at least at the top. And these aren't just little memos. They are thick, detailed documents that spell out all the goals, all the strategies, and who's responsible for what. And when you actually peek inside these policies, you see they have a lot in common. They all want to boost skills, support young entrepreneurs, create good, stable jobs, and even get young people more involved in how they're governed. On paper, these are the perfect architectural blueprints for youth empowerment. But this is where we hit the main problem. It's the core conflict of the whole story. If these impressive, well-thought-out plans exist, why aren't they actually working the way they're supposed to? This is what everyone calls the implementation gap. Yeah, that's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it? The plans are there. The goals are clear. So where is the disconnect? Where's the breakdown between the page and the real world? Well, the answer isn't simple. It's a whole tangled web of systemic issues that messes with these programs from start to finish. Research across Nigeria, Ghana, and Kenya shows this frustratingly similar pattern of problems. Funding is a big one. It's often not enough, or it doesn't show up on time. You have different government ministries running almost identical programs without talking to each other, just wasting money and effort. And then maybe the most damaging part is when politics gets in the way. And listen to this quote. It's from a program official in Ghana, and it just gives you this raw, on-the-ground view of the problem. It shows how political favors can completely poison these programs. When getting a job or a training spot is based on who you know, not what you know, well, the most qualified people get left behind, and the whole point of the program is lost. But the story doesn't just end in failure. It's not all doom and gloom. There's a new continent-wide effort that's offering a fresh perspective and just maybe a real path forward. It's an initiative that's trying to set a whole new standard for what success should even look like. So here's the key thing to get. Yes, Africa isn't just another policy to throw on the pile. It's more like a strategic guide, a benchmark. It was put together by the African Union and the International Labor Organization to help individual countries grade their own policies against a set of proven, forward-thinking best practices. And the priorities of Yes Africa are super clear and modern. It pushes for big, structural economic changes, not just temporary band-aids. It focuses on the skills we know are for the future, like AI, the green economy. It insists that training has to be driven by what employers actually need.
And critically, it calls for policies to be designed with young people, not just for them.
So this new benchmark is actually a really powerful tool. It lets you hold up a country's existing policy and see exactly where it lines up and, more importantly, where it's falling short. It gives you a clear roadmap for how to improve.
And right here, the gap becomes crystal clear. A lot of the national policies are still focused on older models, like general vocational training or short-term job schemes. Yes, Africa is pushing for a major upgrade, a focus on high-growth digital and green sectors, on long-term economic change, and on policies that are designed with youth at the table. It's about shifting from reactive fixes to proactive, future-proof strategies.
Which brings us to the final critical question. The blueprints for success now exist at both the national and continental levels. But can a high-level strategy like Yes Africa finally inspire the political will and the effective action needed to overcome those on-the-ground problems? Or will that gap between promises and paychecks remain the defining story for Africa's youth? The potential is all there, but turning that potential into reality, well, that's the challenge that lies ahead.